Hi everybody, welcome to Glen Magna Farms. My name is Nora Hooley and we're happy you could join us. Today we're going to have some lessons about Glen Magna Farms with our Buildings and Grounds Manager, Matt Martin.
Thank you so much, Nora, for that introduction. Welcome to Glen Magna Farms, everybody. We're standing right here in the Chamberlain Garden at Glen Magna Farms. It's our main flower garden, and it was actually created in 1889. All right, so it's at the end of April here, and so the gardens are changing. Each month, if you come back to visit, it's going to look very, very different. Right now, we have in our annual beds, we just planted pansies, and these are a great spring flower. They're an annual, and that means that they only live for 1 year, but they flower all the time. They look really nice, and they actually do pretty well on cool nights in the spring, so they're a good spring flower. We have over here some of our tulips that are coming up. There's so many different types of tulips. These ones are bright red. And then right here, these aren't flowering yet. These are a bearded iris called Lorelei, and these have been growing here in this very garden bed since 1909. That's a very long time. And these will be blooming in around June, and it will have a purple and yellow flower, and they smell fantastic. Oh, check this out. Our weeping cherries are blooming right now. These are so cool. So these are our weeping cherries. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, right here is actually one of my favorite perennials. It's not blooming right now, but it will be next month. It's catmint. So catmint, when you crush it up and smell it, it smells fantastic. You can actually make a tea out of this, and the bees, the pollinators love it, and it has these beautiful purple blue flowers. And it's very drought tolerant, so you don't have to water it that much. And right here we have our daffodils. They're just starting to fade now. So about a week ago they were bright and yellow, and now they're just starting to brown up. But that's okay, because when these fade away, we'll have a whole new set of flowers that will take their place. Right here is our sundial. So some of you might not know what this is. This is actually a way to tell time. So it's difficult because we have a shady day right now. But when the sun is casting on the sundial, this little piece right here will actually cast a shadow, and you can see what time it is during the day. So here's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, right? This is about lunchtime right here. So this is a good way to tell when lunchtime is. So make sure you come back when it's a nice sunny day. Over here is called a Cushing's pergola, and these are 10 marble columns that have been here for a really long time. And what's growing on it is our world famous wisteria vine. And if you look really closely, you start to see the flower buds forming. And these are going to be huge, big purple flowers. Everyone loves them. These bloom around mid-May. Oh, and look at this. This is called a bleeding heart. You can see it's why it's called a bleeding heart, because don't those look like little hearts? In another couple weeks, this plant will just die back to the ground and you won't see it, but something else will take its place. Right here we have sweet woodruff, and pretty soon this will be a carpet of white flowers. It's a really beautiful ground cover. Let's go check out one of my favorite plants on the property. Hey, let's check out one of my favorite trees on the property. Come on in. This right here is a weeping beech tree, and it was planted in 1889. It's 132 years old. It's magnificent. And right now, none of the leaves have come out yet, but they soon will. You can see the buds just starting to swell up, getting nice and fat, and we'll have some really beautiful leaves that come out. And this is a nice place to hang out in the hot summer because it's very cool under here. It's a nice place to escape the summer heat. One of the most important things when visiting and enjoying this beautiful tree is to make sure you never climb the tree or hit it with rocks or carve in them. You can see all the carvings in this tree, and that actually really hurts the tree, especially when everyone does it. So it's really important that you never carve into trees and just kind of enjoy them by looking at them. So this tree is over 132 years old. That might seem really old to us, but it's not for a tree. Beech trees can live over 300 years. So hopefully this tree will be around for a lot longer. Here's another awesome tree. This is a native tree, and it's called a redbud. And what's so special about redbuds is they're in bloom right now. And look, the flowers are coming right out of the wood. So a lot of our trees at Glen Magna Farms, we try to label. So you can see here we have a tag. It says redbud on it. Some of them don't have tags, but we are working on to try to get many of our trees labeled. So any of you that are interested about learning more about nature and tree identification, this will help you. You can actually start to see the leaves starting to pop out here on this redbud. They'll have these beautiful, big, round, heart-shaped leaves. The flowers are just about to open now before the leaves emerge. What a great tree. Let's see what else we can find. Here's another fascinating tree at Glen Magna Farms. This is the maidenhair tree, also known as the ginkgo biloba tree. This is a pretty common street tree. A lot of these trees line the streets in downtown Salem, which is my hometown. What's special about this tree, besides being really beautiful, you can see the leaves starting to pop out now, is that it's prehistoric. This tree has been around since the time of the dinosaurs. So this is a living fossil. How cool is that? We're in the shrubbery garden now, and the shrubbery garden was also laid out in 1889, around the same time as the Chamberlain garden. We have some new trees that were planted here, and some are original to when it was planted. This is a newer tree. This is a tulip tree, and it started from seed in 2010. And tulip trees are another native tree to New England. And these trees can get almost 100 feet tall. And it's called a tulip tree because it will have these big flowers that actually look like tulip flowers, very similar to the tulips that we saw in the garden earlier. So just in 11 years, you can see how tall this tree has got. So it's a fast grower. So maybe someday it will be 100 feet. I hope so. All right, here we have a blueberry shrub. And this is a really old one. This has been here for a long time. And you can see the flowers are just starting to form. And bees will come and pollinate the blueberry flowers, and then we'll get blueberry fruit. It tastes so good. The birds love it too. So this is a great tree or shrub for wildlife because it's gonna feed the birds and it feeds us too. All right, so back in 2015, the community and the Danvers Historical Society came together and we planted an apple orchard. These trees were tiny, 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 only a foot tall, and now look at them now. Some of them are almost 20 feet tall. They're doing really well, and we're starting to get apples. So let's check them out. This tree right here is a Granny Smith apple tree. So this is a pretty common apple that you can get in the grocery stores, and it's doing really well. And we also have Macintosh apples and Russian apples and Red Delicious apples. Oh, and I just saw a bird fly into that bird box over there. So here at this property, we want to make things beautiful for people. We want to make things historically accurate and preserve history and heritage, but we also want to help nature. We want to help our wildlife. So here we have an apple orchard that helps people by hopefully one day providing food, but we also are starting to supply habitat for wildlife. So in this area here, we allow the grass to grow really tall, and that's really good for the birds and snakes and all kinds of critters. And if you notice, we have these bird boxes here to provide some home for our local birds. Another way to help wildlife is actually providing habitat for our bats. So away in the back of the property, we have these bat boxes that we built and installed on our trees. Bats are great to have on your property when they're away from your house. So we have it way in the back of the property because one bat can eat over 500 mosquitoes in 1 hour. So these bats that are living in this bat box are eating thousands of mosquitoes every night. All right, so welcome to our greenhouse. So this greenhouse has a lot of plants in it right now because we're getting ready for our Back to Nature plant sale. And let me show you some of the plants that we'll be selling. This right here is called butterfly weed, also known as milkweed. And I'm sure some of you have seen monarch butterflies. Those really beautiful black and orange butterflies. This plant right here is the only food source for the caterpillars. So without this food source, you have no butterflies. So it's really, really important to make sure you plant native plants in your home garden to help our wildlife. Over here, we have mountain mint. You can break a little leaf off. It smells so good, just like mint. This is another plant that's really beneficial to wildlife. And then right here, this is little blue stem, and this is a native grass. So most of us are familiar with lawns, the grass in our lawn, but this is not that. This can actually get over 3 feet tall, and it's a really beautiful grass, and the seeds provide food for our local birds.
Thank you for watching our Glen Magna Farms portion of the 3rd grade History Week program. I'm Nora.
And I'm Matt. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Enjoy.